Well, hi there. How are you guys doing today? I'm seeing a lot of fun chat in the chat about the sharks. And I'm excited to talk to you guys. I've actually been surprised how much controversy there has been about the sharks, but welcome all of you. I imagine this might be the first live stream for some of you. If for no other reason, then this has been one of the best weeks that our channel has ever had. And actually the best in a lot of ways. There are 11,000 new subscribers since our last live stream, which is just unbelievably exciting. So if you're new, welcome, and if you're not, also welcome. This is Leisha, by the way.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
She's done such a good job. Baby Martha's getting some rest, so hopefully she decides to sleep through this. Oh, I have something cool I want to show you guys. Because this was and remains one of my dream snakes for a really, really long time.
I was going to ask you if I could hold a ball python during our live stream.
You were?
Yeah.
All right. The whole time?
I don't know, for some.
This one. So this is actually one of my female blue-eyed leucistic ball pythons. She's my biggest one. She's going to be ready to breed hopefully for the first time this year. I've paired her a couple of times, but I haven't seen a lock from her yet. I'm pairing her with my super banana male, which she is a lesser Mojave blue-eyed leucistic, and she also might be a pinstripe. Anyway, that would be, I believe the word is stinking rad.
Yeah.
If I got some, but all they could produce are banana lessers, banana Mojaves, and possibly pinstripe versions of both of those things. That's it, because she's homozygous of sorts, because she's got she's got lesser on one chromosome and Mojave on the other, and the super banana has it on both his X and Y chromosomes. So anyway, it's stinking rad and very exciting. I would be super excited about having a clutch from them. And I always love banana lessers, but they don't fit into my breeding plans, so I always end up selling them. But if I had a female banana lesser from that pairing, I would definitely keep her, because I love them. I love them. I love them. Anyway, I could geek out about these guys for a long time, but at least she's now got a snake she can handle. She doesn't have a name though yet.
She doesn't?
Maybe Elsa.
Oh yeah, you had thought about Elsa.
I've decided Olaf would be a great name for a blue-eyed leucistic. I've never named one.
Yeah, I've
got a male named Sinatra, and this girl, she could use a name sooner or later. Let's see. I have other cool stuff I wanted to talk about. But the sharks.
The sharks?
I want to hear
this week's video.
Oh yeah, you guys. So like I said, this has been a really amazing week for our channel, and lots and lots of new subscribers. A lot of that has come from two sources. One of them being, well, actually three sources. So one of them being our new video on cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Which was really popular, and our first mollusk that we've ever covered, which I love cuttlefish. I love the cephalopods in general, and I can tell you we have more exciting videos like unto that one coming up. The lighting is super crazy today, isn't it? I look like David Bowie.
Yeah, with your light.
I got one dark eye, one light eye. What do you guys think of that? But it's a trick of lighting. And speaking of tricks of cinematography, many of you suspect that we have upped our game with green screens.
Yeah.
Because we've never used one before. And not only do some of you think that we've used a green screen, but we have timed our green screen to perfection, so that if I go pop, the fish jump. We're very, very tricky with our green screens, aren't we? So what is it? Real sharks? Obviously, the sharks are real, right? They're sharks on video. But were they actually behind me? Or did I green screen them in? What do you guys think? While they ponder on that, shall we have a question? Do we have any questions?
Well, I wanted to tell them about
this week's
video, because I'm really excited about this week's video.
So you're going to tell them about this week's video?
Can I?
Yeah, you can tell them about this week's video.
Like it with details?
Sure.
Really? Tomorrow, wait. It's the turtle one or the tortoise one, right?
Right.
Okay, tomorrow's video is so exciting. I am so excited for you guys to see. A lot of you probably know Camp Kennan, right?
Yep. Kenan Harkin is his name.
Kenan Harkin and his YouTube channel,
Yep.
Camp Kennan. And he's an awesome guy. Clint got to go out to Florida and meet him and go to his property and see all of his animals. And he has a lot of tortoises. And Clint got to do a 5 best tortoises video, pet tortoises, right?
Yep.
With Camp Kennan. And the coolest part is, can I tell them this?
Well, his name is just Kenan.
I know, but this YouTube channel is Camp Kennan.
Yes, at Camp Kennan.
Okay.
With Kenan.
Someone to embarrass me.
Sorry.
The coolest part is that it is a Camp Kennan style video.
It is very much so.
It's really cool. Kennan actually films it and films himself walking around, and he and Clint are walking around seeing all the tortoises, and it's just his style video throughout the entire thing with Clint in the background, like giving off details.
Well, it's like a Camp Kennan video with Clint's
along.
Reptiles B-roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of a hybrid, and it's fun.
Yes, it's really, I'm so excited. So I hope you guys watch it tomorrow, and I hope you like it. If you like it, let us know, because doing stuff like that in the future is
originally, like, turtle videos and tortoise videos weren't very popular, and so I've kind of not been doing them. Like, we did our 5 of the best pet turtles forever ago, right? It was one of our early videos, like in 2017, probably, maybe early 2018, and I've still only covered one. Maybe just one full two full videos of the 5.
Yeah, because you did Meta Mask.
Yep, and I did the sulcata.
Yeah.
But but I didn't do the others because they were like, people just didn't want to see turtles, and I did polls. I'm like, do you guys want to see turtles? And they're like, nah. Like, there was like a million things you guys would rather see than turtles. And so I'm like, but turtles are cool. I'm not that kid, though the rumor has been circulating.
Yeah. But
I like turtles a lot. I like turtles a lot. And growing up, turtles were one of the main reptiles that I kept, and but something I've noticed, and our snapping turtle video was really popular, which makes me very happy because that's my very favorite turtle, and I love them so much, and so it makes me really, really happy that you guys like that. But then I noticed our 5 of the best pet turtles video has more views than our 5 of the best pet snakes video.
Interesting.
And so I'm like, okay. Even though they say they don't like turtles, somebody out there likes turtles like me. So I'm gonna make more turtle stuff. And if I'm going to Camp Kennan, like, he is, I mean, he keeps lots of cool stuff, but he's a big time tortoise guy, and it's awesome. Camp Kennan was really, really cool. If you guys have questions about Camp Kennan, feel free to ask today, and I'd be happy to tell you.
I think you have one of my hairs on your mustache. Turn towards me. I can't tell. Okay. So are you going to tell them if it's a green screen or not?
Oh, we'll get to that. Well, I want to know their predictions first. I want to see the great battle of arguments.
I knew the sharks were real because you always talk about that aquarium.
It is cool.
Sharks aren't real. I've never seen one.
It's airtight. Do we have questions though from Patreon, do we not?
Yeah, and we have some super chats.
We have super chats already?
Yeah.
Super chats?
Anthony sent a super duper chat.
Super duper chat?
$49.99.
Holy smokes. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. We love it.
I got to talk to Anthony. That was just yesterday, wasn't it?
Yep.
Anthony's the best. You got a brand new baseball? I got to watch an Anthony unboxing video.
That's
as he collects, he and his dad, they collect autographed baseballs from incredible, like, amazing baseball players. And then Anthony knows the, like, awesome, cool facts and background about each one. And they're all in alphabetical order.
That's
so cool. Fortunately, he's already got Hank Aaron. But whenever he gets a new one, he has to shift all of the baseballs, and there'll be buckets.
Okay, so he just said, for the reptile room, my friend.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thank you. Let's see. Mr. and Mrs. Morelia sent a super chat. Alicia, what's your favorite ball python more? What's my favorite? So I really like blue-eyed Lucy's. I don't know what they're called. They're like cinnamon something black, all black. Ball pythons.
All black?
Yeah.
Probably a GHI Suma.
GHI
That is a
Suma.
dream snake for me. If any of you are sitting at home with GHI Sumas and you're like, Clint should unbox a GHI Suma, send it so it arrives on a Friday. I'll unbox it. You can watch me freak out.
You can watch me. Yeah, I really like those. I've never seen one in person, but I like those. And then I just discovered a new one that I really like.
Had clown in it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it was the give me a second. It was a desert ghost clown. I think that might have been it.
Desert ghost clown.
Uh-huh.
Something. I think it had one more thing in it, but the thing we were seeing.
It had that enhancer gene.
Yeah. Yeah, Desert Ghost Clown Enhancer.
Yeah.
So the reason I really liked it is because it was a gray snake, but it had this beautiful pattern on it, but it was gray, and it was a very neutral, like matte gray, where it wasn't yellow, it wasn't like bluish purpley, it was just like beautiful neutral gray. I loved it. But we took a screenshot of the intro where it shows that snake, and then we took a screenshot of the video where they talk about that snake. And the intro, when I saw it, and I was like, I love that snake. Clint and I call it the fizz, when you see something and it like gets your heart excited.
Like when you see an Aston Martin.
When you're like, and your little heart starts pumping and you're like, that's so beautiful. That when I saw it in the intro, I like wigged and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I'm going to start breeding ball pythons because I have to have that snake. I now knew how you guys felt.
Yes.
But when we screenshot it and looked back and forth in the pictures, it looked like there was a filter or something applied on the intro. So it wasn't quite as like perfectly neutral gray, but it was really
Do you still like it even after?
No. It was.
You don't like it at all now?
Well, it was really yellow in the video.
So now the question is, which one reflects reality?
Yeah.
Probably the latter one would be my guess. Sorry, Bear.
I know.
There was nothing in that should have taken the yellows out. But if you put axanthic in there, which would be not easy to do because it's recessive, then maybe you could have your perfect
She's explory today.
Yeah. She actually hasn't been handled a ton.
Oh, really?
She's doing well though.
Yeah, she is.
Let's see. That was a good question. So that's your favorite morph?
What?
What are your guys' favorite ball python morphs, by the way?
Well,
I have
Lucy's GHI Suma, apparently, with
the
all black. And then that one that was like Desert Storm.
Desert Ghost?
Desert Ghost, whatever. I have no idea what these things are. But I just thought, and I really, really love piebalds too.
Oh, yeah.
Piebalds are... I remember going to an expo and seeing a pied for the first time ever. And I didn't know snakes like that existed. And then I saw that and I was like, what is happening? And the first piebalds that I ever saw were really beautiful ones. I don't like pieds that the pattern's like orange. I like when it's a dark pattern. It looks almost like their original wild caught. I mean, not caught, but wild. Wild type pattern. And with the white, I was like, I love that.
I something I do like about pieds a lot too is like when people see a Lucy, they're like, "Oh, that's really pretty. Is that an albino?" And I'm like, "No." And I at least get to talk about what albinism is.
Yeah.
Because
people are saying nice albino.
Yeah. So this is not an albino.
If you get up close on the eyes, you can see the eyes aren't red.
Yeah. She's got blue eyes and she's got no pattern at all. So leucism affects all sorts of pigments. It can affect them completely or not completely. Albinism just takes out the pigment melanin. And so albinos often have other patterns. Albino ball pythons, for example, have a lot of yellows and oranges on them, but they've lost all the melanin. This snake has lost all the patterns, all of the pigments. And that's leucism that affects all the pigments and not just melanin. And anyway, but that's pretty much where that ends. When people see a pied, they go, what the heck is going on here? And the thing is, too, like, piebaldism is not that uncommon. I mean, you see piebald cats. Any cat that has, like, color and white on it, it's a pied. And people don't think about that. Holstein cows, piebald. It's actually fairly common to see animals that are piebald. But when you see it on a snake, for some reason, you're just like, what in the world is happening here? And ball python pieds are particularly cool. I like there are piebald reticulated pythons, but I don't think the way that their pattern works out, it's not as striking. Yeah.
I really like pites and other animals too. Also, leucism in other animals. You can
Oh,
look
leucism
online.
and
See,
everything is
like
cool.
leucistic peacocks are gorgeous. Leucistic lions. I've seen a leucistic gorilla, I think.
Yeah, he might be an albino. It's harder to tell because pretty much the only pigment they have is melanin.
I see.
But I think his eyes are
red.
Yeah.
Okay, Anthony sent another super chat.
Super chat!
So, my friends, what species have you not seen in person that you'd like to? Also, I'm very proud of you, Leisha, for holding Shelby. Thank you. I was a little nervous just because we don't know what that venom's like. And Clint got bit, but he was a baby. And how much did he actually
not too much
get on him? And now that he's an adult and bigger and we don't know, like there's not a lot of research in their venom. And it was a little scary.
You did great. And I wasn't sure she was going to do it, though.
Michelle was like, Leisha, I didn't know you were afraid of snakes. And I was like, I'm not afraid of snakes. I'm afraid of venomous snakes where we don't know if their venom can actually kill you or not.
Almost, well, unless you had like a bee sting.
Well, you said like timber rattlesnake.
Yeah, but not they wouldn't, because they don't have a pressurized venom injection. It wouldn't be as much. So even if the venom is technically like a timber rattlesnake's, it would be a more minor bite.
I see. So, what species have you not seen in person yet that you'd like to?
Great white sharks.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Also, dragon snakes. We just recently did a video on them, but I've never seen one in person.
Yep.
That's the only animal we've ever done a video. Well, no, that's not true. I've never seen several of the tegus in our top 5 tegus you've never heard of video. I've never seen them in person. I don't think I've seen maybe any of them. I've maybe seen a crocodile tegu, but didn't notice. But I don't think I'd seen any of those.
I'd like to see a cowrie tick in person.
Oh, because you weren't there.
Yeah. I would like to hold that was
a cowrie tick, that's a form of leucism too. They've got blue eyes. Yeah, I would like for us to have a cowrie tick.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I should say about giant snakes, but we might be getting a pretty big snake for the room in the near future. I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, we're really excited. Really great for education. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Morelia sent a super chat. Should I do this?
Yes.
Super chat! Said, Clint, what's your sanitation protocol? What products do you use? Also, what is your favorite local herb? Do you keep any locals as pets?
My favorite. Let's see. So sanitation. Usually, I use diluted bleach, but I'll be using more stuff here in the near future. Usually, I just have been doing like a total pull out substrate, wipe everything down. But there are better products for lower level cleaning, which would be convenient when we're making enclosures the size that we have intended. As far as my favorite local herbs, I love Gila monsters and rattlesnakes. I don't keep any of those, not yet anyway. Rattlesnakes aren't really on my radar, but Gila monsters, would fill me with joy. And then the only local reptile that I have is a Great Basin gopher snake, Buttercup. She's actually probably the reptile I've had the longest of all the reptiles that we have. And you used to keep whiptails locally. Yeah. I had a whiptail. They're not very long lifespan though. Yeah. On the whiptails.
It was really cute though. We really liked him.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Okay, so let's see. Did you get all the sanitation protocols? What products do you use? Also, what is your favorite local herb? Do you keep any locals as pets? Okay, I think you got them all. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Anthony Simone sent a $15 super chat.
Anthony, thank you.
Thank you.
Super chat.
So my friend, what distinguishes an animal as a subspecies as opposed to a species? What are the specific differences?
That is a great question and a really difficult one. So even deciding what is a species is a really difficult question to answer. And the reality is there are a lot of different, so the problem is, you'll have a radiation within a group. Say you've got a genus, okay? So a genus, they're all fairly closely related to each other, but they've radiated out. And they share common ancestors not that long ago. And some of them still live close to one another, and there may be some hybridization that goes on. Potentially they can even produce viable hybrids. Even, outside, then there are crazy hybrids that can occur. And so are they the same species? Are they different species? it's very difficult, right? And there are lots of different concepts that you can use. So the biological species concept is probably the one that most people are sort of familiar with, even if not by name, at least by definition, that if they can reproduce and produce viable offspring, they're one species. But then you run into all sorts of questions. Like, okay, well, what if they live in different habitats? But if you introduce them to each other, they could breed.
She keeps looking at my face and it's freaking me out.
They could breed and produce viable offspring. What then? Or if I find two fossils, could they breed and produce offspring together? I have no idea, right? Or ring species, which are these situations where they can breed with the neighboring populations, but if you take individuals from distant populations, they can't breed with each other. Like, what the heck? And so you can also have things just like, are they clearly different in their phenotype in terms of what they look like in some way? Like, can I distinguish this population from this population easily with clear markers? Maybe then they're different species. And that would probably be the way that you would break down a subspecies, is you go, these can all breed and everything. They live similarly, but I can tell very easily that this is from this population and this is from this population and this is from this population using genetic markers and aspects of the phenotype. And so we're going to declare them subspecies of the same species, but it's really fluid because the problem is there aren't hard and fast cutoffs. We're just kind of making a judgment call that these guys are similar, but not similar enough to be the same subspecies, but similar enough to be the same species.
Yeah, why can't the animals just put themselves in boxes?
It is so rude. It's so rude of them.
Yeah.
Which is honestly, this is part of why I am personally a lot more interested in their phylogenetic relationships to each other. Do they form a monophyletic clade or not? Because that is not so subjective, right? I'm not trying to draw cutoffs. I'm just saying, the closeness of their evolutionary relationships is all I really care about. And the thing that I love.
Do you not worry about her getting you're moving your hand all around and her head's just?
Yeah. Oh, I watch her. If she's watching my hand, I get worried about my hand.
Okay, I gotta go get her, baby.
Our little monkey woke up.
Yeah.
You want to get her? She looks like Grogu.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
You can be answering a couple questions when I leave. UK Exotic said, "Can you do a snail video?" Oh. And this question I gotta save because I want to hear your answer. So talk about snails for a minute.
Snails. Let's talk about snails, shall we? Especially because I've got a minute. I love snails. Snails are awesome, and you might have discovered that I love pretty much all the things. In fact, if you guys ever have requests, I read those. When people are like, "Can you do a video on this?" If I see that coming up quite a bit, I'm like, I gotta find a way to do that. So I take your requests really, really seriously. I do try hard to find them, and it gives me just kind of a beat on what are some of the things you guys are interested in learning about. Snails are definitely one of them. One of the issues with snails, especially because they're hermaphrodites, which means that they've got male and female reproductive organs. All of them are pretty much pregnant all the time, gravid, and they lay buckets of eggs, and so they can become invasive really easily. Okay, so there are a lot of laws about bringing exotic snails into the United States or different states, and so that kind of complicates them as pets. Big picture for any one species at least, but even just your native snail. I get excited whenever I see snails on the house. I guess because I like creatures and I'm not a gardener, so it's the perfect combination of things. But snails are stinking rad, and I could talk to you guys about torsion, which would be super fun. Plus they're mollusks, and I love mollusks, and we could talk about mantles and having one giant muscular foot. Everything would be delightful about covering snails. I would love to cover those African giant land snails. I obviously can't do that here because they are illegal. But if I ever go to a place where I can find people that have giant African land snails, you better believe we're going to be doing a snail video. Something else I've thought about, because we have them native here, or at least established. I'm not quite sure if they're native, but are banana slugs. And banana slugs are pretty bodacious. So if you guys would like to see a banana slug video, let me know about that too, because that'd be awesome. Okay.
Clint was happy about this little girl's onesie. It's a dinosaur.
Hey, Grogu. Hi. You were so cute. Did you see the snake? Did you see the snake? She has gotten where her eye contact is next level, because today I couldn't even distract her with food, and now I can't. Oh, there she goes. Do you see the snake?
Don't let the snake
It's far
look
away
at
from
her.
Don't let it look at her.
Don't.
It's two blue-eyed leucistics looking at each other. Why?
Get it away.
Why?
It's
Don't be
looking
like that.
at her.
Yeah.
It's freaking me out.
Snakes look at people. It's interested in you. It's not gonna eat her.
Yeah, but it's gonna bite us.
No, it won't. Stop, Leash. It's
Okay, but it's looking at me.
Yeah, they do that. It's just looking over there. Hey, Grogu. She's over it.
Should we ask more questions? Okay, here we go. Sherry LBW, our friend, said, what snake should I commission a sculpture of next? I already have Gaboon, rough scale viper, and red-sided garter, Malaysian, coral, and red-faced Carolina pygmy rattlesnake.
Dragon snake.
That would be rad.
That would be. That's
That
the
would be
best
rad.
kind of dragon snake to have.
Yeah. You can admire it and not watch it die.
Yes. Or also maybe a spider tail viper would be a pretty cool one.
I don't even know what that is.
It's the one that has the little spider tail caudal lure that it shakes around and birds come and try to get the spider and then it bites them.
I've never heard of that in my life.
I think they're from Iran.
That's really cool.
Iran or Iraq. I think it's Iran.
Saskia sent a super chat and said, "Hi, thoughts on the found V-shaped dinosaur cloaca?"
Oh, I don't have too many thoughts yet. I have heard about this. Yeah, they just found a fossil of a dinosaur cloaca.
Interesting.
And I would need to learn.
What would be interesting about it being a V shape?
I don't know exactly, except for the fact that that's a really different sort of a shape than what you have on crocodilians and maybe birds. And so I would, I need to find out more about what that means. I'm not a cloaca expert.
Okay. Blake G sent a super chat and said, "Your vids have kept me entertained through quarantine. What's your opinion on reptiles as school pets? In my opinion, most aren't educated enough to keep them."
Oh, did you see that? We got a yawn.
From the snake?
Yep. So fascinating story. Leisha won't want me to tell, but Leisha's educational background is in elementary education, and then she's been a kindergarten teacher. And when she was in school, she needed to do a video. What class was that?
It was my
like multimedia?
Yeah.
So she had a multimedia class, and so I made a video. We made a video, but she was filming me talking about 5 of the best, or it's just some of
5
of the best pet for teachers.
Best school pets.
5 of the best school pets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, classroom
pets. 5 of the best classroom pet reptiles.
There we go.
Jinx. And so that was, I've watched it, and so we made that. That was long before Clint Reptiles existed.
Years ago. And I've always been embarrassed about it.
Yeah. Well, it's not great because we weren't great at this, but it is.
I was pretty good. I know I could have gotten it better had I had the time, but it's a school project. You're trying to get it together as quickly as you could. Plus, Clint's parents were staying with us when we recorded it, and they were waiting for us to go out to dinner.
Oh.
And so we had to one take. Do it super fast,
and I think everything was off the top of my head, but that was the case with our first few regular videos on this channel too. Yeah. But it actually is remarkably similar to a Clint Reptiles video when you watch it. Like, it has that same basic feel.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Because you're Clint and you're sincere.
Yeah.
You are who you are, so it's not gonna change.
You just get me in all the videos.
Yep.
But it was surprising to me how similar it was.
Blake G said, Nope, that was the same one. And I'm glad that you've been entertained through quarantine. I know it's been a difficult year for everyone.
But yeah, as far as classroom pet reptiles, if you are a reptile keeper, or are willing to study it, there are some reptiles that make great classroom pets because primarily, they can be left over the weekend and you don't need to worry about them very much. Longer breaks you might need to take them home,
Mm-hmm.
but even some of the shorter breaks, maybe if you can get into the building once and check on them, they're okay. Where classroom pet dog is not nearly like this.
Say her favorite word and see if she.
Cheese. She had something new though that you were doing that she liked.
The Carla face.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
No, like this. Oh, she likes it. Like this. Martha, look at mommy. You ready?
Yeah. I would consider that more of a grouper face that you just did. You need to scooch you back in here.
I do. I'm scooching out. Okay, let's go to Patreon for a minute.
Patreon.
Tell us about Patreon, Clinty.
Oh, I think you should tell us about Patreon.
No,
you're so good at it.
You're so good at it. That's like, will you make me a peanut butter sandwich? You can make your own peanut butter sandwich, but you're better at making them.
No, I'm better at making peanut butter sandwiches.
No, I'm better.
That is.
He puts too much peanut butter.
She doesn't put enough peanut butter on them.
Clint teases that I just wave the knife by the peanut butter jar.
I think I don't even use a knife, or you just kind of. She kind of shakes the peanut butter jar above the bread like it was salt. And just kind of lightly
Our
seasons
peanut butter
the
to
bread.
honey/jelly ratio is very different. Clint likes way more peanut butter. When you close his sandwich, you can see the peanut butter. That's like a layer of
I don't want crust
butter.
bites with no peanut butter in them.
And then he just does a little bit of jam. And I do a little bit of peanut butter and a lot of jam.
Then jam falls in your lap. You don't want that.
It falls on your plate. And then you can eat it with your crust. Dip your crust into it.
I don't.
All right, we're moving on.
I forget my question.
Tell us about Patreon.
Oh, tell us about Patreon. So Patreon, honestly, guys, it has been huge for this channel. And I want to say thank you for one thing, because it makes all the difference in the world. I mean, there are so many things we've been able to do. When we filmed at the aquarium, the cuttlefish video, we actually had to get quite a bit of new equipment to make that video possible. And that's the kind of thing that Patreon has helped us to do. And so we get to bring you better content because of Patreon. But also, as our way of saying thank you, we try to have all kinds of features, from bonus videos, bonus podcasts, early videos, and also we have polls, submissions for future videos, and asking questions. They always get to submit their questions early for the live streams, and I don't see them early, but we always make sure that we answer all of them.
Yep.
During the live stream.
And Clint's hard to get a hold of. He's hard to get a hold of even for his wife.
Lick my schnoz.
So if you ever want a question to be answered, Patreon is a great way to do that. Patreon. Okay. Sierra Bunt says, by the way, just to illustrate how hard you are to get a hold of, on filming nights, I get all of my updates through Karen, who gets them through Jason. So I never know how long they're going to be. I never know when they're wrapping up. I'm always just texting Karen, is it going to be a long night tonight?
Jason can just sit there on his phone the whole time, whereas I'm usually manhandling an anaconda.
Sierra Beth says, what would be your overall goal in life when it comes to reptiles? Your big picture.
My big picture? My big picture, I think, is to change people's perception of reptiles and reptiles as pets, and also reptiles in the wild. Because once people love something, once people know reptiles, they usually come to love reptiles, right? It is the unknown that is scary about reptiles. The known is amazing about reptiles. And people don't protect the things that they don't know because they don't love them. But if you can help more people discover how incredible these creatures are.
You don't protect what you don't love, and you don't love what you don't know.
That is exactly right. And so, once people know these animals, they tend to love these animals, and then they want to protect them both in captivity and in the wild. That's hugely important to me. And just to spread knowledge about reptiles and the natural world.
I think for a lot of years, reptiles have been like on the fringe. They're not normalized. For lack of a better word.
That's a good term.
And so
they're not mainstream.
They're not. Yeah,
it's those weirdos.
It's the weirdos
you know
on
who
the
you
fringe. And I think it's really cool to bring reptiles to light and help them be a little bit more mainstream, because we learn a lot about them and we learn a lot about our natural world because of them. And I think that's, for me, I really like that they're bringing, it's more mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's my big picture.
Cool. Anthony says, "Hi there, my friends. Do you have any plans on making any more mammal videos in the future?"
So I don't have any mammal videos filmed, but there are lots of mammals I would love to talk about. I
want to do opossums?
Yeah, things as simple as cats, but also like opossums and fennec foxes. I would love talking about all of that. And there's some demand for a ferret video coming up. I got to do a video on rats. I adore rats. They're amazing animals. And yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested in seeing more mammal videos, please let me know, and I'd love suggestions. If anybody has a kangaroo or a capybara that you'd like for me to
we know someone with a kangaroo. We should do that.
I found out kangaroos were just recently banned in Utah. You can't just get a kangaroo these days. Unreal.
What's wrong with you? Are you sad about the kangaroos?
No,
she wasn't ready to wake up, I don't think.
Well, not and then hear this kind of devastating news.
Alex said, "Hi, Clint. Last night, one of my beloved millipedes died, and I have no idea why. How do you get through the death of an animal without blaming yourself for not being a better caretaker?"
That is a great question. I've actually thought about doing a whole video about this, because every animal that you ever keep will die at some point, and I mean there are lots of. I think you obviously always should do the best that you can to provide a good life for that animal and to give it the best chance that it can to live long term. At the same time, though, sometimes animals die just mysteriously, and the thing is, the same thing is true for people. People can live like 120 years, but so if you're like, well, that's how long I expect them all to live. Mm-hmm. You got to learn, sometimes they don't get anywhere close to that. And it's not really because anybody did anything wrong. It can even be with incredible medical care that you end up, having them not live forever. And so then what? And you've obviously always got to reflect on your own care. What is there something that I could have done better? Because you don't want to be having this experience over and over again if there's something that you could change. But at the same time, you don't want to be too hard on yourself. Some people are devastatingly hard on themselves about things that weren't their fault, other than the fact that you decided to keep an animal, so that provides you with the opportunity to have an animal die in your care. But and the other thing too is, I think as a community, we need to be a lot more supportive. Oftentimes we're really fast to cast stones, and sometimes people do mess up, right? Like, you might have made a mistake and messed up, and that really sucks, right? And it's really, really unfortunate. But if somebody demonstrates a desire to do better, you destroying them for the mistake they made, not helpful.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's good to bring awareness to that, because we're all just trying our best, and why not support each other and help each other through that. So
and I like, something that gives me great hope is as much as I've talked to some people recently who more kind of become involved with the reptile hobby recently, and they're like, man, reptile hobby is toxic. But I know it doesn't have to be, because you guys aren't. Right? Like you guys are an unbelievably amazing community. And actually, I didn't. This wasn't an intentional segue, but we've got our, what's that server called?
Discord.
Discord server which we now have an official Clint Reptiles Discord server, and that is an awesome way to interact with this community. I mean, you can talk with voice, you talk in real time via chat, and have access to this community. And there's a lot of incredible knowledge in there, and I think just a lot of kind people who kind of, you know, they bring forward the same sort of spirit we try to encourage here on this channel of being helpful and kind and respectful. And anyway, so bop over there.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially if you've got questions or if you need support through a difficult time like that.
Let's see. Jacob says, do you have any knowledge or experience with the Hispaniola boas, Chilobothrastratus, such as Haitian or Dominican red mountain boas? Thoughts/opinions on that species?
I'm very interested in them. I don't have very much totally unique information about them. There are some absolutely unreal morphs of them out there, though, that just are really, really exciting.
Sathera said, Leisha, it'd be hilarious to make Clint do your makeup in a video. Please make it happen. I've asked him to do my makeup or curl my hair so many times.
I think I've tried.
No, why would I do that?
Hold this burning hot iron next to my flesh that you don't know how to use. It'll be perfect.
Yeah, he always says no. I'm like, let's just do it for fun.
Nothing can go wrong. It actually reminds me of, so I learned how to drive on a manual transmission, which I love driving manual transmission. Okay. But learning how to drive and learning how to drive manual transmission at the same time, not that fun.
Yep.
And I had a driver's ed class. I had an instructor in the car in a manual transmission, and one of the things my dad had requested is he's like, can you teach him how to back up and how to parallel park? Okay. Now it seems to me, if you're going to learn how to back into a parking space, you might want to work on backing up first. Okay. Yeah. And if you've ever driven a manual transmission, you'll know that starting from a stop, kind of when you're first learning how to do it, kind of sketchy. The sketchiest thing there is. Yeah. And then doing that backwards, real sketchy. Mm-hmm. And so we drive into Boulder, which is a busy city, really busy city. And he's like, pull into that spot. And I'm like, what? You know, like we haven't done backing up. Yeah. And I'm on a really busy road, and I like stop all of traffic. He's like, pull in there. And I'm like, I stopped, and I'm like, well, shouldn't we learn how to back up first? He's like, yeah, just pull in there. I'm like, no. And he's like, what's the worst that can happen? You hit that car? And I'm like, yes. Yeah. And the chances of that are real high. Yeah. And that's how I feel about trying to use a curling iron on Leisha's hair. Here's a piping hot wand you don't know how to use. Stick it against my face.
Stick it against my face. What kind of video would you want? Do you want to see that on my channel? Do you want to see that on a live stream?
That actually seems like a great video for your channel, where we could do it where like we won't be live streaming your trip to the hospital.
Come with us. We're going to the hospital. Okay, let's see.
Trying to keep our energy up.
It'd be
like, Leisha, how's it going? You're like, scalding.
You're such a nug. Okay, that's funny that you would want to see. Oh, sorry, too low.
Goodbye.
That's.
You want a better view of the snake.
Yeah, it's funny that you would want to see that. We'll have to talk about that because I've asked Clint, like, what? Sometimes we'll be getting ready together for a date or something, and I'm like, hey, you should do my makeup, and he's like, why would I do that? You don't want to look good tonight.
It'd be crazy. She'd look crazy.
I think he'd do good. He's an artist. Okay, Nick says, Clint, give me an unbiased answer on whether I should get a blue tegu or a Cuban rock iguana.
Oh, so, okay. Well, unbiased. Those are both really cool lizards that are very serious lizards for anybody. So, just like if I don't know who you are, I probably would say maybe don't get either of those things. But I'm going to make the assumption that you are ready for a great big lizard. In which case, both of those lizards are stinking rad. I would say if you can keep them outdoors, either of them, like if you live in Florida or something, either of them are super, super reasonable. But if you're going to keep them indoors, the tegu is probably a little bit easier to house than the Cuban rock iguana. The tegu is probably also a little bit less likely to really, really hurt you down the road, but both of them could. And the rock iguana is going to live a really long time.
Sorry. I know everyone wants to hear a baby cry.
Yes, they do.
Friday afternoon.
That's what they were hoping for.
Born to Eat Bacon says, "Hi guys, I had a Clint's Reptiles dream. Clint and his crew were doing an on-site shoot. Just as they were finishing up, patrol drones showed up and honed in on them. Quickly grabbing their gear, the group made up for the ship. They got to the ship with drones in hot pursuit, and I had the ship in the air before the hatch had even finished closing. Leisha and Michelle secured the injured Jason in the Colto tank. What's a Colto tank? Kolto? Colto?
No, I don't know.
And I like that Jason's the one that's injured, and me and Michelle are the ones like, don't worry, we got you. Okay, keep reading. While Clint quickly stowed the gear. Once they were all strapped in, I was able to engage evasive maneuvers in an attempt to shake the drones. My co-pilot Bowser, a 5-foot-tall snapping turtle, manned the laser cannon, taking out what drones came into range. Soon we had left the atmosphere and were able to blast into hyperspace and safely. Bowser grunted with joy.
This is one of the things this is why you should have done the Patreon, because one of the other things that we were able to get with Patreon funds is our own X-Men style spaceship and a genetically engineered snapping turtle co-pilot. I've been meaning to say thank you. Thank you to all of our patrons at Patreon for supporting us in this way.
That's a fun dream. Also, I think you've been watching Mandalorian. Egregious says, does a single ball python poop enough to make a bioactive enclosure viable?
You might need to supplement it, but yeah, about once a week they'll poop. So, your cleanup crew will have like a field day once a week. Just be like, woohoo!
And Born to Eat Bacon said, hi, Leisha, Clint. Is a Zilla front opening 20 long enclosure, 30 by 12 by 16 high, big enough for a full-grown gargoyle gecko? Thanks, Johnny.
Okay, so give me the dimensions again.
30 by 12 by 16. Long, so it's not high.
Yeah, so you'd probably rather have dimensions like that, but more vertically oriented.
Mm-hmm. Climbing.
That'd be a good one for a leopard gecko, though. Is that all?
That's all Patreon.
Patreon completed. Cha-ching!
Cha-ching.
All done. Yep.
Giggity, giggity. Okay, let's go back over to some
How pretty
super
is that?
Chats. Let's see. Okay, we had a lot come in.
Holy smokes! Thank you guys.
Yeah,
it really does help.
Okay, Sherry LBW said, "Spider tail horn viper. It is then. I have faith in her ability to capture the look."
That will be amazing.
That's awesome.
That'll be really amazing.
Yeah. Sophie Sharon sent a super chat that said, hey, Clint, you are the sole reason I got myself a pet reptile, a lovely baby corn snake. Would you make a top 5 parrot video? That would be awesome.
I've actually, I want to do a few more birds down the road and top 5 parrots. Boy, that would be hard to get all those parrots together. But I think that's a cool idea. I definitely, so let me run a few of these by you. So I've got somebody who's got a red-tailed hawk, and we actually haven't done a true hawk or eagle yet, but we have done a peregrine falcon and an owl, and that's a lot of birds of prey, right? And you kind of get it with the difficulties of falconry. Mm-hmm. And so I want to do that, but maybe not like next. We did chicken, which that's actually a fairly reasonable thing to keep.
Has that video come out yet?
Chicken, yeah. It's been out for a while.
Oh.
And I'm probably going to do budgie parakeets.
Cute.
I haven't figured that out exactly yet, but Russ with Aquarimax Pets, he's got budgies, and he really works with them, and they talk and stuff.
That's so cool. You definitely need to do that.
These are not the kind of things you associate with budgies, because I don't think most people put the time into them, but they're actually really, really cool birds.
Yeah.
And they're somewhat long-lived, like, comparable to a lot of other reptiles, but they don't live like generations like a lot of other parrots do. So I'll probably cover those. I'd love to cover green-cheeked conures, and maybe some common things like zebra finches. I don't know.
You want to tell them about the copycat channel?
No.
Okay.
We did find somebody though who has completely copied this channel and talks about birds, but I mean they are like
the set's the same. They have like shelves in the back with plants hanging down. The scaling is the same.
Yeah, all the fonts are the same.
Fonts,
it's like a parody, but it's not.
Yeah.
We don't know what to do about that. It's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
But anyway, yeah. So I'd like to cover more birds. I'm not going crazy with any one group other than reptiles, right? But we're having some fun. There's just so many cool things in this world you guys should know about.
Yep. Marvel Ball UK said, "Hi Clint, do you know any information on Zamala Madagascar swift or the Oplurus firensis, aka Madagascar blue iguana, care in captivity?"
Not too much. I mean, people are only working with those species a little bit, and they're almost all wild caught imports, and so they're not high on my radar of lizards I'm super interested in at this time. But that doesn't mean we won't cover them soon.
Yeah. Let's see. Thor Cox said, "My wife is the same way with peanut butter sandwiches."
Which way?
The best way, I assume.
Oh, lots of peanut butter? She's all right by me.
Naughty. I also just got my first snake, a normal ball python het clown. I've always had lizards.
That's super cool.
That's really awesome.
Are you enjoying it? They're just such, it's a different sort of a relationship than you have with most lizards. And I love it all, right? Like, it's just different and delightful.
Yep. Mr. and Mrs. Morelia said, "You two are so freaking adorable together. Fridays are shrinking rad because of this live stream. Thanks for keeping us." They said shrinking, like.
They're probably stinking.
Yeah, but there's an H and an R in there.
Yeah, there's a lot. Shrinking rad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe they meant skinking. I don't know. Or stinking. Thanks for keeping up with this Friday hangout.
Thank you guys so much. I'm really glad that you guys wanted to keep going with these because it is really fun. It's an exciting part of our week, and it's fun just thinking about what are we going to talk about today? Oh, and we actually haven't even resolved our shark question just yet. So stay tuned. And
it's fun hanging out with you. We don't get a whole lot of time together.
Well, and I love getting to share you. The more people need to know Alicia because she's awesome.
You're so sweet. Okay, moving on. Victoria Escher just sent 10 pounds with nothing.
Thank you so much, Victoria.
In the chat, but thank you.
Thank you.
And Kelly Howell said, "Hi, Clint and Alicia. Genetics question.
Oh boy.
Is leucism technically a kind of albinism?" Thanks.
No. But these are all pigment reduction mutations. Okay, so leucism affects multiple pigments. Then you have like axanthism, which just takes out like the yellows, and then you've got albinism, which takes out the melanins, which are kind of your brown black spectrum pigments, and that's why you can get a snow, which is another way to get an all white snake by having an axanthic and albino all in one, because it just kind of ends up getting all the pigments out, but it'll be a red-eyed, essentially leucistic looking snake.
Johnny R., who is also born to eat bacon, said sharks were real, Clint was CGI.
Who knows? I'm always CGI. I'm that same technology they used for the Crush talking thing at Disneyland and Disney World. You ever done it?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Anthony just sent another $49.99 super chat.
Super duper chat part 2.
He's a nug. You're a nug. But I love him. Whenever I call Clint a nug, he always says, "But whose nug am I?"
Her nug.
Anthony, thank you. He said, "Hi there, my friends. If we had this is a fun question. If we had Jurassic Park technology and could actually resurrect dinosaurs, do you think we should? And how would you attempt to house such creatures?"
Okay, so the resurrecting of long since extinct organisms is a major bioethics question. It's actually a big part of why we don't have mammoths and stuff right now. We've got plenty of mammoth DNA and elephants that we could use as surrogate mothers.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of people that would maybe argue that we shouldn't. But if I was dictator of Earth, you better believe we're going to have dinosaurs.
Really?
Oh, heck yeah.
You would, if this was a real ethics question and you were sitting on an ethics committee round table discussing this, you would say yes.
Yes.
For real.
And my argument would be
life.
Because it'd be stinking rad.
In the real life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no question at all.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
They say, Clint Laidlaw, we trust your opinion, value what you have to say, come sit on our ethics committee as to whether or not we should bring dinosaurs back.
Awesome!
Really? In the real life, you would say yes.
I think it's wicked that we don't.
What would your argument be?
They'd be awesome! It'd be so cool. Plus, we could learn stuff about them that we don't know already, but mostly it would be just bodacious.
But what about people dying from such?
Oh, so here's the thing, okay? Don't hire Dennis Nedry. Thing 2, we know how to contain large animals. We're actually pretty good at
carnivores.
it. Including large carnivores. Maybe not that large of a carnivore, but we can scale stuff. We know how that works.
Moats.
Yeah, moats. Moats are good, right? Because the problem with that moat is it only appeared after the T-Rex got out. That was a major design flaw.
Yep. Let's see. Lauren said, "Happy Friday. Thanks for a fun one-on-one this week. You got to talk."
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Tell them about one-on-ones before I finish.
Yes. So one-on-ones have been the greatest thing. You guys probably haven't heard of this, but there's a pandemic on.
We haven't been able to turn it off yet.
No, we have not. Who knew? And we, because we're clever, right before the pandemic, decided to open this actually really amazing place called Clint's Reptile Room.
Yeah.
Which is a place for groups of humans to congregate in close proximity indoors and hang out with snakes and talk about snakes and hold reptiles of all kinds and feed things and have the experience that you would have in a reptile room with a bunch of friends that all adore reptiles also. It's the greatest place ever. But maybe not during a pandemic. And so during this last year and change that we've had this place and been paying for it, it's been open for 1 month, 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And then we had to close it back down because COVID started to spike again. And so the reptile room has been kept alive entirely by face-to-face chats where people come and they hang out with me over Zoom in the reptile room, and you can bring a group of people too if you want. Like there have been people who, they live far apart, and it's the way that they spend time with their family and stuff is by coming to the reptile room via Zoom, and we look at all the animals, we talk about animals, and it's honestly been just amazing. If you've ever done one, please comment about what it was like. But that has single-handedly saved the reptile room, and honestly, it's changed my vision of what we'll do with the reptile room long term because we want it to be open to the public, but also we want you guys to be able to come from around the world.
Yep.
And so we will probably keep doing this even when this pandemic is officially off.
And one-on-ones are really cool. People will a lot of the time email or contact me and say, "What is it like? What do you do? What should I expect?" And let me just tell you, you get one-on-one time with Clint. Like that's it. You pay for either 1 hour or 30 minutes. And you literally just talk about whatever you want to talk about. Clint's at the reptile room. You can ask to see whatever you want to see. A lot of people ask to see Gus Gus or Big Daddy or Bubba Chunk.
Emerald Tree Skinks.
Emerald Tree Skinks they'll go and play with. And you just chat and talk and hang out.
We've got Toxicognats there now.
Dun Dun just said, how much are the one-on-ones and Team Leisha?
There's a link.
Yeah, so you can either use the link that they're doing, or you can go to clintsreptiles.com, and underneath where it says contact us, you can schedule a one-on-one.
Cool.
So, let's see. Let me go back. Oh, baby, we gotta end soon. She's
okay. Well, we gotta get through all the questions.
Yeah, we do. you.
I'll try to yammer quick. Plus, we haven't even told them about the sharks.
Okay,
And
we're
our
finishing
perfect green
Lauren's
screening.
comment. She said, looking forward to sponsoring that $2,000 Black Widow enclosure.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about that.
So in the near future, we're going to make it possible to sponsor enclosures at the reptile room. And so I was joking about, really sponsoring the enclosure will literally be basically just what it costs to build that enclosure. But I was saying, for just a low price, she's like, I definitely want to sponsor something. I'm like, well, you could sponsor this tiny little Black Widow enclosure for $2,000. And
you were being a nug.
yes,
My nug.
Yeah, who's nug am I?
Mine.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, you guys. Kirkland said, Clint, are platypus the weirdest animal and the best pet mammal?
No, none of that.
Really?
Oh yeah. But they're pretty dang weird.
They are weird.
How's that? And really, I mean, there's some things about them that are strange. Mostly, they just kind of they represent a lineage that is now almost totally extinct, called the monotremes or the prototherians, that are mammals that branched away from the other mammals before the mammalian placenta ever evolved, and so they're egg-laying mammals. Also, they branched off before the nipple evolved, so though they produce milk like do other mammals, they lap it off because mammary glands are basically like a modified sweat gland. And so they essentially sweat milk from milk patches, and the little platypuslings come and lap it off, which is adorable. Plus, they've got venom and that cool bill with all sorts of electrosensory capabilities. They're very, very cool little creatures. But yeah, I don't think I would consider them to be the weirdest of all animals, for there are many a weird animal. I just recently, in the last couple days, I think Michelle mentioned them, and then I saw them in my jumping spider group, which actually Michelle's probably a part of that jumping spider group too, so she might have seen them there. But they're like called pelican.
They're cute.
Spiders?
I just looked them up, and they're really cute. They really do look like little pelican spiders.
Yeah, part of their cephalothorax just like pops up, and then they've got giant chelicerae, and they really do look like pelicans.
They're cute. Okay, speaking of Michelle, she sent a super chat and said, "What do you
Michelle
call?"
did?
Yeah. What do you call a dinosaur with no eyes?
Do you think he saw us?
Yeah. Oh, because that's a Jurassic Park. I see.
But what do you call a blind dinosaur's dog?
Do you think Thesaurus Rex?
Yeah.
Johnny R says, "Do a joint parrot video with Emily."
That's a good idea. In fact, we have a video that has her macaw in it, from her 5 favorite pet reptiles that she has. It also has Rex. So if you haven't seen that video yet, you should totally check it out.
Johnny R says, "Do a joint." Oh, sorry, already read that one. Madeline said, "Hi Clint, hognose are my absolute favorite, and I have been wanting one for a while. I've owned several lizards before, but I've never owned a snake. Would a hognose be a good snake to start with?"
Delightful. It would be a
them.
delightful one. The only issue could be getting babies feeding sometimes can be a little bit tricksy, and there's a lot. So, make sure you're prepared for that, or get an adult.
Sean sent a super duper chat. Hi CR team, I currently have a ball python, pastel, crested gecko, and albino cord snake. Thanks to your videos, my next will be a children's python or pink tongue skink. Keep doing what you're doing.
You have great taste in creatures, I must say. And I'm excited to find out which one you go for.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Thanks for your support.
A children's python is awesome, but it's hard to say that you can beat a pink tongue skink very easily.
Yeah. Dragon Whisper sent a super duper chat.
Super duper chat!
Hi guys, I think they're saying pass, but it says pasted my 2021 reptile room tour. And I
posted. Because they've got a YouTube channel. Check out Dragon Whisperer.
I posted. Sorry guys. Sorry. I just posted my 2021 reptile room tour, and I know you are busy, but if you have time, you can see Clinty and Leisha at the 10-minute mark. Thanks for all your support and all you do. Why?
I'm excited to
find out. Why are we on it?
We'll find out. We will find out. We'll go over there and check it out here in a little bit.
Yeah. Den said, "Would you ever keep a mantis shrimp as a pet?"
Totally. If I was good at saltwater, a mantis shrimp would totally be on my radar, especially if I like the idea of potentially having my aquarium smashed by its inhabitant. They're so cool. It'd be, pistol shrimp would also be. I'm very tempted, if we get the opportunity again, to do a mantis shrimp video.
Let's see.
In fact, can I tell you a thing? Okay, so that cuttlefish video that we just made, was kind of a partnership with the Loveland Living Planet Aquarium, which is a place I love and adore. I frequently have an annual pass there because I love it there. You would love it there, and if you get to go, tell them I'm here because Clint Reptiles told me this place was awesome because. If we can build a good relationship with them, maybe we can film more amazing videos there at the Loveland Living Planet Aquarium.
Anthony sent another super chat. Just saw breaking news. Looks like Mahomes is playing this Sunday. I'm rooting hard for the Chiefs, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Breaking news. Mahomes gets to play.
I was seeing a little bit of chatter on the Facebook right before the live stream that was suggesting to me that maybe he'd got the go-ahead. All right. Sorry if you're a fan of the Buffalo Bills. I'm sure that was disappointing news, but it's not disappointing news, is it? It's awesome.
Kevin Moby, our friend Doug, said that aquarium is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got to tell him about the shark screen, and we got to sign off.
Okay. So thank you for sticking around. There's a dirty secret, and I knew, when I first saw it, I was like, this looks fake. I did. I mean, right away, I looked at it, I'm like, that doesn't look real at all.
Yeah.
And I apologized, right? I mean, we did our best. The sharks were there. They were right behind me, and I was distracted by them all the time, looking at sharks. They were real sharks. It was so cool, but it looks fake. I went and watched just a little of the footage because I didn't get to see what it looked like while we were filming it. When I get there, I'm like, that doesn't look real at all. That's too cool to be real. It's real. Those were real sharks swimming behind me the whole time.
I was reading the comments. A lot of comments were like, I thought this was fake until the fish got startled.
Yeah.
You're like, you do this, and there's like a school of fish that dart the other way. It's so cute. Okay, 2 more super chats. Dun said, your beard is looking really good lately. Cheers.
That's right for me.
I think my beard's looking
Thank you so much.
And Dragon Whisper said, you're on it because I named 2 of my emerald skinks after you guys, and I did a gorilla bluebill like Clint.
That's right.
That's awesome. Are they Clinty and Leisha, or are they just Clinty and Leishy, or are they Clint and Leisha?
Oh, the world may never know. We need to go over there. This is I'll bring back our normal lights. Though did you notice? So I've got David Bowie eyes because I've got only light coming in really well from one side today. Did you notice when we were at the aquarium? This is another evidence of the reality of the Shark Tank. We weren't allowed to shine lights straight at me because you can't shine lights into the Shark Tank. And so we had 2 lights coming from the sides, which is all fine and dandy, except my nose casts a shadow on the inside of both of my eyes. And so I looked super cross-eyed for that entire video. And the good news is we filmed 2 more while we were there. So there'll be a lot of this in the future.
You don't look that cross-eyed. But you are really good at going cross-eyed. I'm not that good at it. All right, you guys.
Thank you guys so much for being here. We love you guys. We so appreciate your support and spending time with you. And as always, like and subscribe, and we hope to see you real soon.
Say bye, Martha. Okay.